Welcome back, everyone, to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. My name is Gordy. It is History Week, so I was just wondering, did you know that this is the oldest surviving globe and the only one that doesn't show the Americas? Give me 5 minutes so you can work this into a conversation today. Also, like and subscribe so you can keep up. I do this every single day. In 1492, Martin Behaim unveiled what would become the oldest surviving globe in the world and a masterpiece of Renaissance cartography. It was called the Erdapfel, literally meaning earth apple, earth apple, earth apple, would you be mine? And it was a 21-inch linen and plaster sphere covered with hand-painted maps, the most advanced three-dimensional model of the world anyone had ever seen. And yet, it's also amusingly incorrect, especially because it was finished just before Columbus returned from the Americas. The Erdapfel is both the earliest surviving globe and one of the last maps to imagine a world with nothing across the Atlantic but ocean and fantasy islands. The Erdapfel shows Europe, Asia, and Africa with detail drawn from Ptolemaic, Marco Polo, and centuries of traveler gossip. It's a patchwork of real geography and wild speculation. Asia is stretched far too wide, making it look like you could just sail west and bump into Japan, which is called Cipangu, and it's depicted as a colossal island in the Pacific. My first listed source is an interactive globe/map. It's a website, and it's a really fun website to play with, so I recommend checking it out. You can find that in the YouTube description if you want to mess around and explore that a little bit. And you can see that Africa, southern tip of Africa for one, it trails off into this flat, unfinished coastline because the Portuguese explorers hadn't quite rounded it yet. And it looks like, part of a video game map that hadn't loaded yet, or you haven't been there, so it doesn't appear. And scattered across the oceans are phantom islands like Antillia and St. Brendan's Isle, places that only really existed in sailors' tales. But what you won't find anywhere on this globe is the Americas. Not a hint. No New World, no Caribbean, no continent across the Atlantic, just blue ocean between Europe and Asia dotted with mythical rocks. And I think the timing here is really almost cosmic comedy. Behaim finished the globe in Nuremberg in 1492, the very same year Columbus sailed the ocean blue, set sail west, Within months, reports of new land started trickling back to Europe. By the time cartographers were updating their maps, the Erdapfel was already obsolete. So the oldest globe in the world is also one of the last maps to show a world without America. Behaim himself was a German merchant and navigator who had spent years in Portugal claiming knowledge of new discoveries. But his globe wasn't based on secret voyages. He borrowed heavily from Marco Polo's exaggerations and medieval legends, which is why Japan is so oversized, Asia is stretched, and whole sections of the globe are filled with fantasy. If you were using the Erdapfel to plan a voyage, you'd end up in the middle of the Atlantic with no land in sight, wondering where your promised Isle of the Seven Cities had gone. And despite its inaccuracies, the Erdapfel is priceless as a time capsule. It shows us how Europeans imagined the world at a precise moment before it was reshaped by discovery. In 1492, the world was both bigger and smaller than they realized. Bigger because two massive continents were missing, and smaller because they thought Asia was just right across the sea there. Today, the globe survives in the German National Museum in Nuremberg. Conservators have kept its fragile painted surface intact, though it's too delicate to spin like a classroom globe. Let me know if you still have globes in classrooms. So there you have it. The Erdapfel wasn't just the first surviving globe, it was the last globe of a world without America. An earth apple that, like most apples, went bad almost immediately. That was History Week, though I actually have some more history to come the next few days. Thanks to Haas Bossman, a talented creator, musician who reached out about this topic to teach me about it. Go check him out and his music wherever you listen to music. Also go check out my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Give me a rate, like, subscribe, follow, share this with someone who likes this sort of thing. Take a look at that interactive map. I think it's pretty interesting. Give it a spin, so to speak. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. I almost forgot to say, go check out my short version, which can be found everywhere on social media at Smartest Year Ever for the little condensed clip. And I'll see you tomorrow in the Smartest Year Ever.